So Paige Vanzant, superstar UFC fighter, thank you so much for being here and just kind of, fill in and give us some cool tips for people coming up. The whole theme of this thing is kind of like how to have a winner's mindset, So being someone who's a winner, who's achieved great success in the fight game, can you give us some tips, maybe some things that made it help you to get to where you are?
Yeah, for me, the biggest thing is you have to love what you do. You have to absolutely love it. And for me, in the fight world, we don't necessarily have seasons. So it's finding the time to actually give yourself a mental break and step away and miss fighting, and then you come back and you fall in love with it all over again. So giving yourself little breaks, and then accepting sacrifices. Definitely in the sport, I've had to make a lot of sacrifices, especially being so young. I moved away from my family at 18 to pursue this, so just sacrifice for what you love.
So you're like, what, 20? I know you're not supposed to ever ask a woman her age, but
It's okay, I'm 23 now. Yep.
Wow, God bless you. Okay, so I could pretty much be your dad then, which is really scary. Right? So, I mean, coming up in the fight game as a female, it's got to be super exciting, because for the longest time it's been a male-dominated sport, and you guys are just crushing it, So, for like the young ladies up there coming up, maybe not even to get into the fight game, but just to try to find their niche in life and find success in things, from a female perspective, can you give me anything different from that side?
Yeah, definitely. When I first started training, Dana White said there will never be women in the UFC. Dana White said that, and it's on camera. He said there will never be a woman fighting in the UFC, and that's when I first started training, and I was like, I don't believe that. And now since then, I think people really love watching women fighting. It's technical, it's brutal, it's something nobody's ever seen before. So I think for me, it's just not listening to stereotypes, because I definitely don't fit the fighter stereotype.
No, not at all. In fact, when I look at you right now, I'm almost like, how is anyone punching you in the face? It's not even right.
I try not to get hit.
It's not right.
Try not to, but no, I think it's definitely just don't let other people tell you can't do something.
Right, so as a woman coming up then, basically you can do anything you want to do then.
Exactly.
There is no men's sports anymore. Really, that's what it is. Women right now are fighting for equality all over the place, where there's equal pay and salaries in every career across the board, so.
Exactly, and especially right now, it's definitely the era of strong women.
Right.
So it's the time to step out and do absolutely anything you want to.
Right. Well, this talk now, with Ronda, that what's going on with her career too, and you coming up through the ranks, a lot of people are saying you got the shot to be the next superstar coming up in that line. So it's really exciting time for you too.
Thank you. It's exciting, but I try not to think about that. I'm doing what I love, and once I don't love this anymore, I'm going to do something else. But I love fighting, and there's definitely a lot of perks that come with being a professional fighter. So I love it.
Tell me, at a high point of your career, one point where you said, there's something that I need to do to make the difference, going to push me over the top. Is there anything like your training, or when you hit that point, can you say the one thing you did leading up to that got you to win?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is what really defined my career is leaving my home gym and making that nervous step to leave my hometown and move to Team Alpha Male in Sacramento, where it was time for me to move on. And then once I moved to Team Alpha Male, my career took off. I then signed with the UFC and have had a very successful UFC career. So it's just stepping out of your comfort zone.
I was just going to say that you took the words right out of my mouth. Stepping out of your comfort zone, and that you can really look at that across the board for anything in life, right?
Yeah.
It's like, we all get so comfortable in things, and you can't reach that level of success sometimes until you break that mold.
Exactly.
And it's hard to do it first, right? It's like, but you got to kind of dive into the pool, all the way 100%.
Exactly, yeah, especially deciding I'm going to go join Team Alpha Male.
Right.
Going into the gym the first day, I was a little nervous, but I definitely made it home.
There's a lot of girls on the Team Alpha Male.
There is now, right? Now there's definitely a lot of girls coming up in the sport, so it's really exciting.
I'm so happy for you. It's just a great time for you. A couple quick more other questions. At the lowest point, maybe can you remember like the biggest defeat that you ever had that you said, I'm going to take something away from this, like learning something from a time that was maybe not so good, right?
Yes, I actually had a 5-round war against Rose Namajunas where I got cut open and there was blood everywhere, and it was actually in the fight I decided what, I'm not going to give up, and ended up I was put in very, very deep submissions throughout the whole fight, and it's just a mental thing. You have to choose not to give up, and through that, I was defeated, and then a lot of it is I have a great family behind my back as well, so I was crying in bed, and they were like, listen, you lost, get over it, get out of bed, and get better. Right. So it's really just not letting those setbacks set you back.
Don't slow you down even just a little bit. I know from whole fight perspective, being a wrestler most of my life, especially being put in a submission, there is a point there to where, especially when you're about to go out, there's a point to where you got to suck down, you got to grab something that you didn't even know you had.
Yes.
To keep from,
doing the tap,
keep from giving up. And every part of you is saying, I want to give up, right? But you can't.
Yeah, it's your whole body tells you like you need to quit, and then you have to not listen to it. So it's a whole nother level that you have to reach.
Yeah, so this is exciting. You're going to be commentating on the pro football arm wrestling tournament.
I'm very excited to be here. I get to commentate for pro football players arm wrestling. Like, that's the ultimate, like, girl,
so
like,
different, right?
it's
I
awesome.
mean, you wouldn't even think to mix that up.
No, so it's definitely I'm excited to be a part of it.
Football players arm wrestling to begin with seems like something unique.
Right? I know, so I'm excited. It's definitely going to be a great event.
One last closing thing, last closing tip you can give all the young people coming up, guys, girls, anybody. What's one thing you can say that's going to help them get to the top?
One thing, oh gosh, I would say just do what you want to do, and don't let anybody else tell you you can't. That's it.
Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
It's great talking with you. Good luck with everything.